going to talk about investing in Bitcoin versus buying a house, kind of weigh the pros and cons of each, help you guys make a better decision on what you should be either doing or setting as a longer term goal. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about what I've personally done, and you guys can piggyback off of my strategy and let me know what you guys think in the comments. So let's get right into it. So investing in Bitcoin would be, purchasing a cryptocurrency through a cryptocurrency exchange like Robinhood or Coinbase, Kraken, Binance, whatever you guys are using, or you could be investing in the Bitcoin ETFs if you guys reside in the United States, in particular the BlackRock iShares ETF, ticker symbol IBIT. So that's what we're going to consider investing in Bitcoin. I'm not going to talk about some of the other stocks or things like that. We're just going to simply talk about owning the spot Bitcoin or investing in the Bitcoin ETFs. And buying a home would be like purchasing a house, right, with the down payment or in cash or getting a condo, something like that. So we're talking about residential real estate, okay? We're not talking about commercial real estate. So first off, investing in Bitcoin, you're probably going to get superior returns. Now, the returns aren't necessarily guaranteed because nothing's guaranteed in the future, but Bitcoin has greatly outperformed real estate over the past 10 years, basically since its inception, okay? Now, on average, Bitcoin has done about 70 to 80% return annually over the last 10 years, where real estate's only done about 6 to 8%. So, as things continue, on average, you've gotten about 10x returns on 10 times as higher returns on Bitcoin than you have on real estate. So if you're looking just for superior returns, you're going to be better off investing in Bitcoin, in my opinion. Okay. Now, if you're looking to start a family, or you already have a family, maybe you have a wife or a fiance or something like that, or you already have children, and you're looking for the practicality of having a house and you don't care about investment returns, then you would be probably better off buying a house. But just realize that you're not going to maximize your gains and you're not going to really push your net worth as quickly by buying a house. I'm going to tell you why. The reason why is that it has houses, things like property taxes, maintenance, repairs, upkeep, okay, depreciation, amortization, things like that. Your house over time will decline in value because it gets older. Okay, you're going to have to constantly invest money for the house to maintain its value. Okay, there's also things like natural disasters. If you don't have homeowners insurance, flood insurance, things like that, right? And something happens, earthquake insurance, right? Fire insurance on your house, and something happens to your home, you're screwed. I think a lot of people realized back in the North Carolina floods and the LA fires that the house wasn't as valuable as you think during natural disasters. So that's definitely something to think about in the back of your mind. If something happens to your house during a natural disaster, you're not insured properly, you could lose everything. Okay, so there are a lot of pros to having good things about having a house, but also a lot of cons as well. So I would say it really depends on basically I would say your legal status, whether you're single or married or something like that, and what your goals are. For a lot of you guys that are single, I know a lot of you guys watch this channel are single. You're probably better off investing in Bitcoin and simply moving in with family, having a roommate, or just doing something like renting a smaller condo or smaller house. I'm single. I rent a small 2 bedroom house by myself. It's My rent is not that expensive, and it allows me to save in Bitcoin and focus my time on other things. I've thought about purchasing a house, but I just can't see myself selling my stack and buying a house right now, knowing that houses continue to get cheaper in Bitcoin. So to give you guys a perspective, in 2016, the average U.S. house cost about $288,000 USD and about 664 Bitcoin. But now the average U.S. house, okay, in 2025 costs $361, which is just over 4 Bitcoin. So just in about 9 years, the average U.S. house home sale value went from 664 Bitcoin to just over 4. So obviously it would have been much smarter to hold Bitcoin, right? Because let's say you had 664 Bitcoin in 2016. Now you would be able to buy over 100, more than that, but over 100, getting close to about 150 houses, okay, with that same 664 Bitcoin. So that's because Bitcoin is a fixed supply of 21 million, whereas they can always build more houses. Okay, the supply of houses in the United States and globally is way bigger than 21 million. So just realize that over time, if things continue, houses will continue to get cheaper in Bitcoin. So saving in Bitcoin will make real estate more affordable. If you guys are thinking like you want to take your whole like nest egg or your whole savings and put a down payment on a house, just realize that in 2028, okay, in 3 years from now, it's greatly possible that the average price of a house in the United States could cost less than one Bitcoin. So if you have like 80, $90,000 to invest, you might be better off just buying one Bitcoin instead of putting a down payment and just moving in with family or living with the roommate and renting. Because if you think about it, if you buy a house outright and you're single, you're going to be by yourself and you could get lonely in your house and you have to pay for everything yourself. It's expensive. Okay, you don't have anyone else to share your costs with. You could rent your rooms out to strangers, but that's a whole nother other risk, right? You've got people in your house and you have to vet them, and then they could potentially squat, and then you have to potentially hire an attorney. So I would say if you're a single guy, you don't need a lot, you're attracted to Bitcoin, you like Bitcoin's practicality, it's good returns, just move in with family or get a roommate and just continue renting. And then take the surplus money that you earn every month through your job or your business side hustle or whatever, and just keep investing in Bitcoin. You're probably going to have way more money than you would think. That's exactly what I did, and it really helped my savings. Okay, and I continue to do that. I continue to save in Bitcoin and rent a 2-bedroom house. It's working for me. Now, if you guys out there that are married, have children, or you have a fiance, you guys want to purchase a house or something like that, go for it. But just realize that maybe you want to start off with a smaller house. You don't need a big McMansion if you're just getting started. Maybe you want to consider downsizing and getting a smaller home in like a second tier or third tier city rather than a big expensive city like DC, LA, New York, Miami, or whatever, or wherever you guys live globally. So really research second tier cities. Second tier cities are usually like about 20 minutes to an hour drive outside of the big metropolis, and the houses there are much cheaper. So you could buy a cheaper house and then take the rest of the money and invest in Bitcoin. That way you still own a home, you're still building equity, but you also are getting that appreciation through the power of Bitcoin. You're still getting those superior returns. But I would say if you're thinking about starting a family, or you already have a spouse or multiple people and you want to get a home, go for it. But just realize that most likely your house is going to get much cheaper in Bitcoin. You're going to miss out on those gains. But for you guys that are single, you really don't need to own a home in all this space, especially if you guys live in America, because most of the homes built in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, or even just recently are built for a lot of people. They're built for 3, 4, 5 people. And if you're a single guy, you just have too much space, in my opinion. So really think of less is more. Really think about, getting a smaller place and taking the rest of the money and just saving in Bitcoin. And you just don't need as much space. Like for me, I could live in a 3, 4, 5 bedroom home, but I don't need it. Just having a 2-bedroom home, I rent 1 bedroom for me and then a spare bedroom in case I have guests or things like that, is more than enough. And it's been great for me. It's working for me as well. So I recommend it to you guys. Don't get too much space. Just get enough space that you can manage. Also, if you have a big house, it's harder to keep clean. You need to pay someone to clean it if it's big. It's a headache. So just like I said, I would say basically whether you should invest in Bitcoin or buy a house, obviously it's not financial advice, just my opinion, but it really matters on your legal status. For single people, most likely you should be invested in Bitcoin. If you're married, have kids or things like that, a spouse or a fiance, consider home ownership, but maybe consider a smaller house or a house in a second tier city that's cheaper. So I hope this video helped, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos. And that's all I got until next time, guys. Take care. Thank you for watching.